gonna rain tonight.
Paper says so.
Right here.
Well, then it can't rain.
Oh, hiya.
Hey, hello, Frank. How's it doing?
Nothing. Walking up by breakfast.
Yeah.
That beautiful night.
Yeah, that's nice.
Oh, every Sunday ought to be like this.
Hey, you want the paper?
Oh, what's the difference? It's always bad news. What's today's calamity?
I don't know. I don't read the news part anymore. It's more interesting than the want ads.
Well, you trying to buy something?
Nah, just interested. Let's see what people want, you know? For instance, here's a guy looking for 2 Newfoundland dogs. Now, what's he want with 2 Newfoundland dogs?
That is funny.
Yeah, here's another one. Wanted, old dictionaries, high prices paid. Now, what's a man going to do with an old dictionary?
Why not? Probably a book collector.
You mean he'll make a living with that?
Sure, there's a lot of them.
All the kinds of business. My day, you were either a doctor, a lawyer, or you worked in a shop.
Well, I was going to be a forester once.
Well, that just shows you. In my day, there was no such thing. Yeah, you look at a page like this, you realize how ignorant you are.
Hey, what happened to your tree?
Yeah, ain't that terrible? Wind must have got it last night. You heard the wind, didn't you?
Yeah, I got a mess in my yard, too.
Yeah.
What did Kate say?
Oh, they're asleep yet. I'm just waiting for her to see it.
You know, it's funny.
What?
Well, Larry was born in August. He'd have been 27 this month, and his tree blows down.
I'm surprised you remember his birthday, Frank. That's nice.
Well, I was working on his horoscope, see?
Oh, well, how can you make him a horoscope? Ain't that for the future?
What I'm doing is this. We assumed that he was reported missing on November 25th, right?
Yeah.
Well, then, if he died, it was on November 25th. Now, what Kate wants...
Oh, Kate asked you to make the horoscope.
What Kate wants to know is whether or not November 25th was a favorable day for Larry.
What's that, favorable day?
Well, a favorable day is like a fortunate day, according to his stars. In other words, it would be practically impossible for a man to have died on his favorable day.
Well, what's that? His favorable day?
That's what I'm trying to find out. It takes some time, see? The point is, if November 25th was his favorable day, then it's completely possible that he's alive somewhere. I mean, it's possible.
Is he talking sense?
Him? He's all right. He's just completely out of his mind, that's all.
You know, the problem with you is you don't believe in anything.
Your trouble is you believe in anything. You didn't see my kid this morning, did you?
No.
Imagine, he walked off with his thermometer again, right out of the bag.
What a problem. One look at a girl, he wants to take her temperature.
Boy's gonna be a real doctor someday. He's smart.
Over my dead body, he'll be a doctor.
Why, it's an honorable profession.
Frank, will you stop talking like a civics book?
You know, I saw a picture the other week, reminded me of you. Had a doctor in it.
Oh, that'll meet you.
I think it was, yeah. His doctor who worked in his basement discovering things. That's what you ought to do. You can help humanity instead of...
I would love to help humanity on a Warner Brothers salary.
Very good, Jim.
Well, where's the pretty girl who's supposed to be here?
Annie came?
Yeah? She's asleep upstairs. Picked her up on the white rock train last night. You know, she leaves here a scrawny kid. A couple years go by, she's a regular woman. I hardly recognized her. And she ran in and out of this yard all her life. You know, that was a happy family who used to live in your house, Jim.
Well, I'd like to meet her. And a block can use a pretty girl. The whole neighborhood is not a damn thing to look at. Except for my wife, of course.
Mrs. Adams is on the phone, you dog.
Oh, such is the condition which prevails. My love, my life.
Don't sniff around me. Go give her a nasty answer. I can smell her perfume over the phone.
What's the matter with her now?
Oh, I don't know, dear. She sounds as though she's in terrible pain, unless her mouth is full of candy.
Why don't you just tell her to lay down?
Oh no, she enjoys it much more when you tell her to lay down. And when are you going to see Mr. Hubbard?
My dear, Mr. Hubbard is not sick. And I have better things to do with my time than sit there and hold his hand.
You know, it seems to me that for $10, you could hold his hand.
Your son wants to play golf, and I'm ready. Or if he'd like to take a trip around the world for about 30 years.
Oh, goodness, Susie. Why do you tease him? He's a doctor. Women are supposed to call him up.
All I said is Mrs. Adams is on the phone.
Yeah.
Say, can I have some of your parsley?
Yeah, sure. I don't know, Susie. I think you've been a nurse too long. You're too, realistic.
Now you said it. Frank, oh, hiya!
Hello.
Frank, the toaster's off again.
Plug it in, I just fixed it.
Oh, please
like to see what we've done with the place? Thanks.
Is she still unhappy, Joe?
Go ahead. Oh, I don't suppose she's dancing around on her toes, but I think she's over it.
Well, is she gonna get married? I mean, is there anybody who she
Well, I suppose. I mean, it's been a couple of years. She can't mourn a boy forever.
It's so strange. Annie's here and not even married, and I've got 3 babies. I always thought it'd be the other way around.
That's what a war does. I had 2 sons. Now I got 1. Changed all the tallies. You know, I think a doctor can make $1 million if he could figure out a way to bring a boy into this world without a trigger finger.
Well, you know, I was just... Oh, hiya, Chris.
Lydia, come in here. If you want the toaster to work, don't plug in the malted mixer.
Did
The next time I pick something, don't tell me I'm crazy. Now come in here.
I'll never hear the end of this one.
What's the difference? Instead of toast, have a malted. Want the paper?
That's all right. Just the book section.
You're always reading the book section. You never buy a book.
Well, I like to keep abreast of my ignorance.
What is that? Every week a new book comes out?
A lot of new books.
All different?
All different.
Gee. Huh. Annie up yet?
Mother's giving her breakfast in the dining room.
Did you see what happened to the tree?
Yeah.
What's Mother gonna say?
Hey!
Hey! Birds up! Hey, Bert. Where's Tommy? He took his father's thermometer again.
Sticking or eating?
What?
But it's only oral.
Oh. There's no harm in oral. Well, what's new this morning, Bert?
Nothing?
Nothing? Then you haven't done a complete inspection of the block. You know, when I first made you a policeman, you used to come in here every morning with something new. Now, nothing new.
Except some kids from 30th Street, they started kicking a cane down the block, and I made them go away because you were sleeping.
Hey, now you're talking, Bert. Now you're on the ball. First thing you know, I'm liable to make you a detective.
Can I see the jail now?
Oh, no, seeing the jail ain't allowed, Bert. You know that.
Oh, I bet you there isn't even a jail.
Bert, on my honor, there's a jail in the basement. I showed you my gun, didn't I?
That's only a hunting gun.
It's an arresting
But
gun.
why do we ever arrest anybody? Tommy said another dirty word to Doris yesterday, and you didn't even know him.
Oh, that's a dangerous character, that Tommy. Well, what word does he say?
Oh, I can't say that.
Bert, you gotta give me an idea.
I can't. It's not a nice word.
Bert, just whisper in my ear. I'll close my eyes. Maybe I won't even hear it.
I can't say that, Mr. Keller.
Don't make him do that.
All right, I take your word, Bert. Now you go out and you keep both them eyes peeled, huh?
For what?
What? Bert, the neighborhood is dependent on you. Now, policemen don't ask questions. Peel them eyes.
Okay.
Hey, if mum's the word, Bert.
About what?
Well, just in general, be very careful.
Okay.
I got all those kids crazy.
Yeah, one of these days they're going to come in here and beat your brains out.
Hey, what's she gonna say? You know, maybe we ought to tell her before she sees it.
She saw it.
How can she see it? I was the first one up. She was asleep.
Well, she was out here when it broke.
When?
About 4 this morning. I heard it cracking and woke up and looked out. She was right there when it broke.
What was she doing out here at 4 in the morning?
I don't know. When she saw it crack, she ran back into the house and cried in the kitchen.
Did you talk to her?
I figured the best thing was to leave her alone.
She cried hard.
I could hear her right through the floor in my room.
What was she doing out here at that time of the day? You know, she's dreaming about him again. She's walking around at night. Yes, she is. She's getting just like she did after he died. What do you suppose the meaning of that is?
I don't know the meaning of it. But I do know one thing, Dad. We made a terrible mistake with her.
What?
Being dishonest with her. That kind of thing always pays off, and now it's paying off.
What do you mean dishonest?
You know that Larry's not coming back, and I know it. Why do we allow her to go on thinking that we believe with her?
What do you want to do? Argue with
I
her?
don't want to argue with her. But I think it's time she realized that no one believes that Larry's alive anymore. I mean, why shouldn't she dream of him or walk the nights waiting for him? Do we contradict her? Do we say straight out that we don't have any hope anymore? That we haven't had any hope for years now?
You can't say that.
You've got to say it to her.
Have you got any proof? Can you prove it?
God's sake, 3 years? Nobody comes back after 3 years. It's insane.
To you it is, and to me, but not to her. Now you can talk yourself blue in the face, but there's no body, there's no grave, so where
All
are
right,
you?
Dad, just sit down. I want to talk to you.
Trouble is the goddamn newspapers. Every month some boy shows up out of nowhere, so the next one's gonna be Larry.
All right, just listen. All right, now you know why I asked Annie back here, don't you?
Why?
You know.
Well, I got an idea. What's the story?
Well, I'm going to ask her to marry me.
That's only your business, Chris.
You know it isn't only my business.
What do you want me to do? You're old enough
Then it's
to know
okay,
your
I'll
own
go
mind.
ahead with it?
Well, what do you think Mother's gonna say?
It isn't only my
I'm
business.
just saying.
Sometimes you infuriate me, you know that? I mean, isn't it your business, too? If I tell this thing to Mother and she throws a fit about it? God, you have such a talent for ignoring things.
I ignore what I gotta ignore. The girl is Larry's girl.
She's not Larry's girl.
As far as Mother's concerned, he is not dead, and you got no right to take his girl. Now you can go on from there if you know where to go, but I don't know where to go, see? No. What can I do for you?
I don't know why it is. Every time I reach out for something I want, I gotta pull back because other people will suffer. The whole bloody life, time after time after time.
Well, you're a considerate fella. There's nothing wrong with that.
Hell with that.
Did you ask Annie yet?
I wanted to get this settled first.
What makes you think she'll marry you? Huh? Maybe she feels the same way Mother does.
Well, if she does, then that's the end of that. But from her letters, I think she's forgotten me. I'll find out. And then we'll thrash this out with Mother, huh, Dad? Come on, don't avoid me.
Well, you never saw enough women. You never did.
So what? I'm not fast with women.
Well, I don't see why it has to be Annie.
Because it is.
Well, that's a good answer. But it don't answer anything. Now, you haven't seen her since you went to war. That's like 5 years.
I can't help it. I know her best. I grew up right next door to her. These years, when I think of a wife, well, I think of Annie. What do you want? A diagram?
I don't want a diagram. She thinks he's coming back. I mean, you marry that gal and you're pronouncing him dead. Now, what's Mother going to say? Do you know? I don't.
All right, Dad.
Give it some more thought.
I've given it 3 years of thought. I hope that if I waited long enough, Mother would forget about Larry, we'd have a regular wedding and everything happy. But, it can't happen here. I guess I'll have to get out.
What the hell is this?
I'll get out. I'll get married, move someplace else. Maybe New York.
Are you crazy?
I've been the good son too long. A good sucker. I'm through.
Hey, you got a business to run here. What the hell is
The
this?
business. The business doesn't inspire me.
Must you be inspired?
Yes. I like it an hour a day. If I gotta grub for money all day long, at least at evening I want it beautiful. I want a family. I want some kids. I want something I can build, that I can give myself to. And Annie, well, she's in the middle of that.
Tell me something. You mean you'd leave the business?
Yes. On this, I would.
You don't want to think like that.
Well, then help me stay here.
Well, all right. But don't think like that. What the hell did I work for? That's only for you, Chris. That whole shooting match is for
I
you.
know that, Dad. Just help me stay here.
Don't think like that.
I am talking like that.
I don't understand you, do I?
No, you don't. I'm a pretty tough guy.
I can see that.
No! Did you take a bag from under the sink?
Yeah, I put it in the pail.
Get it out of the pail. Those are my potatoes.
I thought it was a garbage.
Oh, do me a favor, Joe. Don't be helpful.
Well, I could afford another bag of potatoes.
Oh, Minnie scoured that pail in boiling water last night. It's cleaner than your teeth.
That's another thing. Worked 40 years, I got a maid, and I take out the garbage.
Oh, well, if you would make up your mind that not every bag in the kitchen is full of garbage, you wouldn't be throwing out my potatoes. Last time, he threw out the onions.
I don't like garbage in the house.
Then don't eat.
Well, that settles you for today.
Yeah, well, I'm in last place again.
Oh.
I don't know. Once upon a time, I used to think that when I got money again, I'd get a maid and my wife could take it easy. Now I got money again and I got a maid, but my wife is working for the maid.
It's her day off. What are you grabbing about?
So is Annie up yet? Has she finished eating?
She'll be right out. Boy, Dylan did some job on this place. So much for that, thank God.
Well, sit down now. Take it easy.
Such a funny pain on the top of my head.
Oh, do you want me to get you an aspirin?
No more roses. So funny. Everything seems to decide to happen at the same time. This month's his birthday, his tree blows down, Andy comes. Everything that happens seems to be coming back. Well, I was just down in the cellar, and what do I stumble over? His baseball glove. I haven't seen that in a century.
Don't you think Annie looks well, Ma?
Oh, fine. There's no question about it. She's a beauty. Only I don't understand what brought her here. I mean, it's not that I'm not glad to see her here.
Well, I just thought it'd be nice for everyone to see each other again, and well, I'd like to see her myself.
The only thing is, I think her nose got longer.
Oh, jeez.
I've always loved that girl. She's one that didn't jump into bed with somebody else as soon as it happened with her fella.
Oh, no, what are you
Oh,
talking about?
never mind. Most of them didn't wait till the telegrams were open. But she is great. She is just great. You know, I'm glad she came. Then you can see I'm not completely out of my mind.
Well, just because she isn't married doesn't mean she's been mourning Larry, Ma.
Well, why then isn't she?
Well, I don't know. Could be any number of reasons.
Like what, for instance?
I don't know. Whatever it is. Hey, can I get you that aspirin?
Well, it's not like a headache.
You don't sleep enough, that's what it is. She wears out more bedroom slippers than she does shoes.
I had a terrible night. I never had a night like that.
What was it, Mom? A dream?
More than a dream.
About Larry?
Fast asleep. Oh, remember when he used to fly low past the house when he was in training? When you could see his face in the cockpit going by? And that's how I saw him. Only high up. Way up where the clouds are. Oh, it was so real I could reach out and touch him. Suddenly he began to fall and crying to me. Mom! It sounded like he was in the room. Mom! Oh, it was so real, and I knew if I could stop him, if I could touch him, I could stop him. If only I could just... Well, I woke up and... It was so funny, I could hear the wind, like the roaring of his engines. Came out here, I must have still been half asleep, and I could hear the roaring like he was going by. And then the tree snapped right in front of me, and I came awake. See, I told you we never should have planted that tree. I said so in the first place. It was too soon to plant a tree for him.
soon.
Everybody was in such a hurry to marry him. We rushed into it. I told him we'd never have planted that tree. And I told you, Chris, when we put it out.
Mother, the wind blew it down. Now, what significance is that, God? Mother, what are you talking about? Now, don't bring up that all over again. It's no good. It doesn't accomplish anything. And I've been thinking, well, maybe it's time to put our minds to forgetting it.
That's the third time you said that this week.
Because it's not right. We never took up our lives again. It's like we're at a railroad station waiting for a train that never comes in.
Give me that aspirin, huh?
Sure, Mom, and then we'll break out of this, huh? Hey, I thought maybe the four of us would go out to dinner a couple of nights. Maybe go out dancing at the shore?
Oh, fine. We'll do it tonight.
Follow me.
Sure, let's have some fun. And you'll start with that aspirin.
Why did he invite her here?
Why does that bother you?
She's been in New York 3.5 years. Why all of a sudden?
Well, maybe he just wanted to see her.
Oh, no one comes 700 miles just to see.
Oh, what do you mean? They grew up next to each other their whole lives. Why wouldn't he want to see her? Oh, don't look at me like that. He didn't tell me anything he didn't tell you.
He's not going to marry her.
What makes you say he's thinking of it?
It's got that about it.
Well, so what?
What's going on here, Joe?
Kid.
She's not his girl. She knows she's not.
What, did you read her mind?
Why isn't she married? New York is full of men. Why is she still single? Probably 100 people told her she was foolish, but she's waiting.
How do you know why she's waiting?
Because she knows what I know, that's why. She's faithful as a rock. In my worst moments, I think of her waiting. I know again that I'm right.
It's such a nice day. What are we arguing for?
No one in this house dares take her faith away, Joe. Strangers might, but not your father.
What do you want me to do? What do you want?
I want you to act like he's coming back. Both of you. Oh, don't think I haven't seen you since he invited her here. If he's not coming back, I'll kill myself.
Oh,
Oh, laugh. Laugh at me. But why did that happen the very night she came here?
okay.
Laugh. But there's meaning in such things. She goes to sleep in his room and his memorial breaks in pieces. Look at it, Joe. Look.
Well, calm yourself.
Oh, Joe, you've got to believe with me. I can't stand alone.
Calm yourself.
Only last week, a man turned up missing longer than Larry. You read it yourself.
Calm yourself, all right?
Joe, you, above all, have got to believe me.
Why me above all?
Just don't stop believing.
What do you mean, me above all?
Please, just
Mr. Keller, somebody said it again.
Who?
The dirty word.
Oh,
I
oh.
warned him.
Oh, stop that, Bert. Go home. There's no jail.
Kate, leave him.
I want you to stop that jail business, Joe.
He's right across the street.
Go home, Bert. I want you to stop that, Joe. That whole jail business.
Mommy, she's shaky.
Oh, I can't help it.
I got nothing to hide. I don't know what the hell was the matter with you, Kate.
I didn't say you had anything to hide. I'm just telling you to stop it. Now stop it.
Hey! Hey!
Come here.
Take a breath of that air, kid. You won't get air like that in New York.
Annie, where did you get that dress?
Oh, I couldn't resist. I'm taking it right off before I ruin it. How's that for 3 weeks' salary, huh?
Oh, it's simply gorgeous.
No kidding. Isn't she the prettiest gal you ever saw?
You gained a little weight, didn't you, dear?
Oh, it comes and goes.
Look how our legs turned out.
Boy, the poplar's got kicked in the back.
Well, it's been 3 years. We're getting old, kid.
How does Mom like New York?
Hey, why didn't they take our hammock down?
Oh, no, it broke. Couple years back.
What, bro? He had one of his light lunches and flopped into it.
Oh, excuse me.
Oh, how do you do? She looks very intelligent.
Yes, Annie, this is Jim. Oh, Dr. Bates.
Sure, he writes a lot about you.
Oh, don't believe him. He likes everybody. In the battalion, he was known as Mother McKellar.
You know, it is so strange seeing him come out of that yard.
shoes, but if I may give you a word of advice. When you marry, never, even in your mind, never count your husband's money.
Yeah!
At once! At once!
I told her to take up the guitar and be a common interest for him. Well, he loves the guitar.
Say, let's eat at the shore tonight. No? Raise hell like before Larry went.
She thinks of him. You see, she thinks of him.
What do you mean, Kate?
Well, nothing, except that you remember him. He's in your thoughts.
Well, that's a funny thing to say. How could I help but remember him?
You can hang up your thing.
Yeah. You could have sure gone in for clothes. I could hardly find room in that closet.
Dear, don't you remember that's Larry's room?
You mean they're Larry's?
Did you recognize them?
Well, it never occurred to me that you... Well, the shoes, they're all shine.
Yes, dear. Oh, for so long, I've been aching to have a nice conversation with you, Annie. Now tell me something.
What?
I don't know, something nice.
She means, do you go out much?
Oh, shut up.
Yes, and are any of them serious?
Would you go? Don't.
If you're going to take this woman to a restaurant, I'm telling you, in 5 minutes, she'll have 39 strange people all sitting around the table telling her their life story.
I can't ask Annie a personal question.
Oh, asking is all right, but you're beating her over the head. You're beating her. You're beating her.
You go ahead and ask me whatever you want to know. Come on. Let's gossip.
She's one with sense right here. Now, your mother, she's not getting it for?
No, she's pretty much calmed down about it now. I think they'll probably live together when he gets out. In New York, of course.
That's fine, because your father was always... I mean, he's a decent man after all
I don't
said
care.
and
She
done.
can take him back if she likes.
And you? You go out much?
Do you mean, am I still waiting for him?
Oh, no, I don't expect you to wait for him.
But that's what you mean, isn't it?
Well, yes.
Well, Kate, I'm not.
You're not?
Isn't it ridiculous? You don't actually imagine that he...
Well, yes, dear. I don't say it's ridiculous. I mean, the papers are full of it. I don't know about New York. There was half a page about a man who sing longer than Larry, and he turned up from Burma.
Well, he couldn't have wanted to come home very badly.
Oh, no.
You can have a hell of a time in
So
Burma.
I've heard.
Mother, I bet you money that you are the only woman in this country who, after 3 years, is... Yes. Yes, I am.
You're sure? You're sure? They don't say it on the radio, but I know. In the dark at night, they're still waiting for their sons. Mother, you're absolutely... Oh, now stop that. There's just a few things you don't know. All of you. And I'm going to tell you one of them. And deep in your heart, you've always been waiting for him.
No, Kate.
But deep in your heart, Anne.
Mother, don't you think that she ought to know?
Oh, don't let them tell you what to think. Listen to your heart, Anne. Only your heart.
Why does your heart tell you that he's alive?
Because he has to be.
But why, Kate?
Because certain things have to be, and certain things can never be. Like the sun, it has to rise. It has to be. That's why there's God. Otherwise, anything could happen. But there's God, so certain things can never happen. I would know it. Just like I knew the day he went into that terrible battle. Did he write to me? Was it in the papers? No. But that morning, I couldn't lift my head off the pillow. Ask Joe. Suddenly, I knew. I knew. And he was almost killed that day, Annie. You know I'm right.
No.
I have to have some tea.
Hey?
Hey, Frank. How are you?
You lose your hair.
He's got responsibilities now, you know. Without Frank, the stars wouldn't know when to come out.
You know, you look more womanly. You've matured, yeah.
Easy, Frank. You're a married man.
Kate, you still have her doctorate?
Why not? Maybe I too can become president. How's your brother got his degree, I hear?
Oh, George has his own office now.
Don't say. And your dad? Is he?
Fine, I'll be in to see
How about it? Does dad expect a parole soon?
I really don't know.
I mean, because I feel that if a man as intelligent as your father gets put into prison, well, there ought to be a law that says either you execute him or you let him go after.
Hey, Frank, do you need some help with this ladder?
That's all right. I'll finish the horoscope tonight, Kate. It's good seeing you, Annie.
You look wonderful.
Haven't they stopped talking about Dad?
Nobody talks about it.
Gone and forgotten, kid.
I don't want to see
No,
anything.
I don't want you to worry about
Do
it.
they still remember that we still talk about you?
Well, the only one that still talks about it's my wife.
That's because you keep playing policeman with all the children. All the parents here out of you is jail, jail, jail.
Actually, what happened was, when I got back from the penitentiary, the kids got very interested in me. You know kids. Well, I became the expert on the jail situation. The time passed, they got it confused, and I ended up a detective.
Except they didn't get it confused. He hands out police badges from the post toasties box.
Gosh. It's wonderful to hear you laughing about it.
Why? What'd you expect?
Well, the one thing I remember on this block was one word. Murderers. You remember that, Kate? Mrs. Hammond standing out in front of our house, yelling that word. She's still around, I suppose.
They're all still around.
Ah, don't listen to her. Every Saturday night, their whole gang is playing poker in this harbor. All the ones that yell murder, taking my money now.
Joe, don't fool her. She's a sensitive girl. We still remember about Dad. It's different with him. He was exonerated. Your father's still there. That's why I wasn't so enthusiastic about you coming, Annie. I know how sensitive you are, and I told you.
Listen, you do like I did. You'll be all right. Well, the day I come home, I get out of the car. Well, not in front of the house, but on the corner. You should have seen it, Annie. You should have been there. You too, Chris. You'd have seen something. Yeah. Everybody knew I was getting out that day. The porches were loaded. None of them believed I was innocent. The story was, I pulled a fast one, getting myself exonerated. So I get out of the car, and I walk down that street, but real slow and with a smile. Ha! The beast! Oh, I was the beast. The guy who sold cracked cylinder heads to the Army Air Force. The guy who made 21 P-40s crash in Australia. Yeah, kid, walking down the street that day, I was guilty as hell. Except I wasn't. There was a court paper in my pocket to prove I wasn't. So, I walked past the porches. Result, 14 months later, I got one of the best shops in the state again. A respected man again, bigger than ever.
Joe McGuts.
Guts. That's the only way you live in these guts. Ha! The worst thing you did, Annie, was when you left here. You made it tough for Dad when he gets out. That's why I say, I'd like him to see him move right back on this block.
How can they move back?
It ain't gonna end till they move back. Till they play cards with him again and smile with him, talk with him. Why you play cards with a man, you know he can't be a murderer. And the next time you write to him, Annie, I want you to tell him just what I said. You hear me?
Don't you hold anything against him, Joe?
I don't believe in crucifying a man, Annie.
But he was your partner. He dragged you through the mud.
Well, he ain't my sweetheart. That's what I'm saying. You gotta forgive, don't you?
You either take him
Well,
or you
the
feel
next
anything.
time you're right.
I don't write to him.
Well, every
No,
now
I
and
never
then.
wrote to him. Neither is my brother. Do you feel the same way?
No, he murdered 21 pilots.
Oh, what the hell kind of way?
What else can you say? When they took him, I followed him. I went to him every visiting day, and I was crying all the time. Until the news came about Larry. Then I realized it's wrong to pity a man like that, father or no father. He willingly shipped out parts he knew would crash an airplane. How do we know that Larry wasn't one of them?
I was waiting for that. And as long as you're here, I want to ask you
Dad, just forget about it.
She doesn't feel that way.
No, Dad, I'm sick of the whole subject. Just
You
cut
want
it
her
out.
to go on like this? Now those cylinders went into P-40s only. Now what's the matter with you, Annie? You know Larry never flew a P-40.
So who flew those P-40s? Pigs?
Man was a fool. But don't make a murder out of it.
Dad.
You got no sense. Look what it does to you. You got to appreciate what was doing in that shop in the war, the both of you. It was a madhouse. Every half hour, the major's calling for cylinder heads. They were whipping us with a telephone. Or the trucks were hauling them away hot damn near. Just try to see it human. See it human. I mean, all of a sudden, a batch comes out with a crack. Oh, that happens. That's the business. A fine hairline crack. All right. So your father's a little man. He's always scared of loud voices. What'll the major say? Half-day production shot. What'll I say? You see what I mean? See it human. So he takes out his tools and he covers over the cracks. I know that's a mistake. It's bad. But I know he meant no harm. That's what a little man does. I mean, if I could have gone in there that day, I would have told him, junk him, Steve. We can afford it. But alone, he was afraid. I know he meant no harm. He thought they'd hold up 100%. That's a mistake. That's not murder. You mustn't feel this way about him, man. You understand me? It ain't right.
Let's forget all about it, Joe.
Annie, the day the news came about Larry, he was in the cell next to mine. Dad. And he cried. He cried half the night.
He should have cried all night.
Annie, I don't understand.
Are you going to stop
Don't
this?
yell at him. He just wants everybody happy.
That's my sentiments. Annie, can you stand steak? Huh?
And champagne.
Now you're operating. Help us wants it for a table. Big night tonight,
Can't
Annie.
scare me.
Oh, you got great legs. I want to see everybody drunk tonight. Look at him, he's blushing.
Oh.
He's blushing.
Drink your tea, Casanova.
Big night tonight.
He's a great guy, isn't he?
You're the only one I know who loves his parents.
Yeah, I know. It kind of went out of style, didn't it?
Oh, hi. That's a good thing. You know, it's lovely here.
Yeah.
The air is sweet.
So you're not sorry you came?
Not sorry, no, but I'm not going to stay.
Why?
Well, for one thing, your mother as much as told me to go.
Well, we can
You
talk.
saw that. And then you, well, you've been kind of
Well, what?
embarrassed ever since I got here.
Well, I sort of hoped I could sneak up on you after a week or so, but they've taken it for granted that we're all set.
Well, here they were. Your mother, anyway.
Well, how would you know?
From her point of view, why ask what I've come?
Well, would you want to? I mean, I guess you know that's why I asked you to come.
I guess that's why I came.
Annie, I love you. I love you a great deal. And I love you. And, I have no imagination. I don't know how else to tell you. And, oh, jeez, I'm embarrassing you. And, gosh, I wanted to tell it to you someplace different. Someplace where we'd be brand new to each other. And, well, you feel it's wrong here, don't you? This yard and this chair. Annie, I wanted you to be ready for me. I didn't want to win you away from
Chris,
anything.
I've been ready a long, long time.
Then he's gone. He's gone forever.
I almost got married 2 years ago.
Really? Why didn't you?
You started to write to me.
I mean, you felt something that far back?
Every day since.
Well, why didn't you tell me, Annie?
Well, until then you didn't write. And when you did, what did you say? Sure can be ambiguous, you know.
Give me a kiss, Annie. Give me a... I kissed you. I kissed Annie. Oh my God, how long I've been waiting to kiss you.
I'll never forgive you. Why did you wait all these years? All I've done is sit and wonder if I was crazy for thinking of you.
Oh, Annie, we're gonna live now. I'm gonna make you so happy.
Not like that, you're not.
Kissed you?
Like Larry's brother. Do it like you, Chris. What's the matter, Chris?
Let's go for a drive somewhere. I want to be alone with you.
No, what's the matter? Is it your mother?
No, it's nothing like that.
Then what's wrong? Even in your letters, there was something ashamed.
Yeah, I suppose there was, but it's going from
You've
me.
got to tell me.
Annie, I don't even know where to start.
It would work this way.
It's just so mixed up with so many other things. And all right. Do you remember when I was overseas? I was in command of a company.
Yeah, sure.
Well, I lost them.
How many?
Well, just about all.
Oh, gee.
Well, it takes some time to toss that off. Because they weren't just men. For instance, there was this one time when it had been raining several days, and this kid came up to me and he gave me his last pair of dry socks. He put them in my pocket. Now I know that's only a little thing, but that's the kind of guys I had. They didn't die. They killed themselves for each other. And I mean that exactly. A little more selfish, and they'd have been here today. And then I got this idea when I was watching them go down. Everything was being destroyed, see, but it seemed to me that one new thing was being made, a kind of a responsibility, man for man. You understand me? To show that, to bring that onto the earth again, like some kind of a monument, and everyone would feel it standing there behind him, and it would make a difference. A difference to him. Then I came home, and it was incredible. There was no meaning in it here. The whole thing seemed to them like a kind of a bus accident. And I went to work with Dad in that rat race again, and I felt what you said. Kind of ashamed somehow. Because nobody was changed at all. And that seemed to make a sucker out of a lot of guys. And I felt wrong to be alive. To open a bank book, to drive a new car, to see a new refrigerator. I mean, you can take those things out of a war, but you got to know, when you drive that car, you've got to know that it came out of the love a man can have for a man, and you got to be better because of it. Otherwise, what you have is really loot. And there's blood on it. part of that. And I guess that included you.
You still feel this way?
No. No, Annie. Annie, I want you now.
Because you mustn't feel this way. You have a right to whatever you have. To everything, Chris. You understand? To me, too. And your money, there's nothing wrong in your money. Your father put hundreds of planes in the air. You should be proud of that. Men should be paid for that.
Annie, I'm going to make you a fortune.
Yes. Sure. Annie, your brother. Oh, what is this, Labor Day?
All right.
You shouldn't burst out like that.
Yeah.
Nobody told me it was Labor Day. Where's the hot dog?
All right, you said it once.
Well, if it's going to be Labor Day, I'll wear a bell around my neck from
You're
now
so
on.
subtle.
Yeah, George Bernard Shaw is an elephant.
George, you kissed it out of my head. Annie, your brother is on the phone.
My brother? Or
Yeah, George.
what's the matter?
Come on.
Nothing.
I don't know. Kate's on the phone. You better hurry. It should cost him $5.
I wonder if we ought to split another yet. I mean, I'm not
No, we're going to wait till after dinner now. Don't get tense. Just leave it to me.
Oh, what are you going to tell her?
Go ahead, Ann. Go ahead. We're getting married, Dad. Oh, come on, don't you say something?
I'm glad, Chris. I'm glad. It's just George is calling from Columbus.
Columbus?
Yeah, Annie didn't say her brother was going to see Dad.
No, I don't think she mentioned anything about it.
Chris, you know Annie pretty good, huh?
What kind of a question is that?
I'm just wondering. I mean, after all these years, George don't go see his dad. And now he goes, she comes here.
Well, what about it?
Well, it's crazy, but it's on my mind. I mean, she don't hold nothing against me, does
What
she?
are you talking
I'm
about?
just talking. I mean, to the last day in court, the man held everything against me. I mean, this is his daughter. You know, if she were sent here to find something out.
Why?
Why? I'm just...
What is there to
just
find out?
saying,
Why
just
are
in
you so
case they were going to open the case and the nuisance
Dad,
value.
how could you think
What
that
did
of
he
her?
say, for God's sake?
You can't be.
Dad, you amaze me.
Hey, forget it. Look, I want a clean start for you, Chris. I want to sign a new one. Christopher Keller Incorporated.
Cameo Keller's good.
Now we'll talk about it. I want to build you a house, stone, with a driveway from the road. I want you to use everything I made for you, Chris. You know, with joy. Without shame. With joy.
I will, Dad.
Say it to me.
Why?
Because sometimes I feel like you're ashamed of the money.
Dad, don't.
Because there's nothing wrong with that money. That's good money.
Dad, why are you telling me this?
I tell you, I'll go to work on Mother for
right,
you.
good, Dad.
I will get so drunk tonight we'll all get married. There's gonna be a wedding, kid, like you've never seen, huh? Champagne, tuxedos.
Simply because when you get excited, you don't control yourself. Well, what did he say, for God's sake? All right, come then. Yes, they'll all be here. Nobody's running away from you. Just try to get a hold of yourself, all right? All right, goodbye.
Hey, something happened?
Is he coming here?
Almost 7 o'clock. He's in Columbus. I told him it would be all right.
Well, sure, it's fine. Dad didn't take sick, did he?
No, George didn't say he was sick. I don't know. I guess it's probably just something stupid, you know, my brother. Let's go for a drive or something.
Hey, sure. Dad, have the keys?
Oh, drive through the park. It's beautiful now.
Come on, Dad. All right, we'll be back.
Steve's got to see Annie right away.
What for?
I don't know. He's a lawyer now, Joe. George is a lawyer. All these years, he never even sent a postcard. Ever since he got back from the war, not a postcard.
So what?
Suddenly he takes an airplane from New York to see an airplane.
Well, so?
Why, Joe?
I don't read minds, do you?
Why? What has Steve got to tell him that he takes an airplane to see?
What do I care what Steve's got to tell him?
You're sure, John?
I'm sure.
All right, Joe. Just be smart. The boy's coming. Be smart.
For once and for all, did you hear what I said? I said I'm sure.
All right, Joe. Just be smart. Did you have to put on good pants to do that? You notice there's more light with that thing on.
Hey, why aren't you dressing?
Oh, it's suffocating upstairs. I made a grape drink for Georgie. He always liked grape. Come and have some.
Sure. Well, come on, get dressed. What's Dad sleeping so much for?
He's worried. When he's worried, he sleeps. We're done with this. Dad and I are stupid people. We don't know anything. You've got to protect him.
You're silly. What's there to be afraid of?
Till his last day in court, Steve never gave up the idea that Dad made him do it. If they open that case again, I won't live.
George is just a damn fool, Mother. How can you take him seriously?
That family hates us, Chris. Maybe even
Oh,
Anne.
now, Mother.
You think because you like everybody, they like you.
Don't get yourself so worked up.
When George leaves, tell her to go with him.
Don't worry about Anne.
Steve is her father, too.
Mother, come on, get dressed. Let's go.
You don't realize how people can hate, Chris. They can hate so much they'll tear the world to pieces.
Hey, look, she's dressed already. I just gotta put on a shirt.
Are you feeling well, Kate?
What's the difference, dear? You know, there are certain people, the longer they live, the sicker they get.
Well, you look nice.
We're telling her tonight.
Absolutely.
I wish we could tell her now. I can't stand scheming. My stomach gets all
No,
hard.
we're not scheming. We're just wait till she gets in a better mood.
No, you're gonna sleep all day.
The only one who's relaxed is your brother, and he's fast asleep.
Hey, I'm relaxed.
Are you?
Look. So let me know when George comes.
Johnny, come get your supper.
Have you seen that?
Oh.
I am terribly
Oh,
sorry.
it's all right. I'm just a little silly about the dark.
It is getting dark, huh?
Are you looking for your husband?
Well, as usual, he spends so much time here, they'll be charging him rent.
Well, nobody was dressed, so he went over to the depot to pick up my brother.
How was your brother in?
Yeah, they should be here any minute. Will you have a cold drink?
I will, thanks. My husband. Too hot to drive me to the beach. Now, men don't like little boys. For the neighbors, they'll always cut the grass.
Well, people like doing things for the Kellers. Been that way since I can remember.
It's amazing. I guess your brother's coming to give you away?
I don't know, I suppose.
Oh, you must be all nerved up.
Well, it's always a problem getting yourself married, isn't it?
Well, that depends on your shape, of course, and I don't see why you should have a problem.
Well, I've had my chances.
Oh, I'll bet. It's romantic. You know, it's unusual to me marrying the brother of your sweetheart.
I don't know, I guess it's just that whenever I've needed somebody to tell me the truth, I've always thought of Chris. When he says something, you know it's so. It relaxes me.
And he's got money, that's important, you know.
That wouldn't matter to me.
Oh, you'd be surprised. It makes all the difference. Now, I married an intern on my salary. And that's bad, because as soon as a woman supports a man, he owes her something. And you can't owe somebody without respecting them. Well, it's true, you know.
Well, underneath, I think the doctor's very devoted.
Oh, sir, research, discover things, you see.
Isn't that a good thing?
Research only pays $25 a week. And that's minus the cost of laundering the hair shirt. You have to give up your life to go into it.
How does Chris convince
Well,
you?
now, Chris makes people want to be better than it is possible to be. He does that to people.
Is that bad?
Well, my husband has a family, dear. Every time he has a session with Chris, he feels as though he's compromising by not giving up everything for research. As though Chris or anybody else isn't compromising. You know what happens with Jim every couple of years? He meets a man and makes a statue out of him.
Maybe he's right. I don't mean that
Oh,
Chris
no,
is
darling,
exactly-
you know he's not right.
I don't agree with you. Chris is very...
Let's face it, dear. Chris is working with his father, isn't he? He's taking money out of that business every week in the year.
What of it?
You ask me, what of it?
I certainly do ask you. You oughtn't to cast aspersions like that. I'm surprised at you.
You're surprised.
Chris wouldn't take 5 cents out of that plant if there was anything wrong.
You know that.
I know that. I resent everything that you've said.
You know what I resent, dear?
I don't want to argue.
I resent living next door to the Holy Family. It makes me look like a bum, you understand?
Well, I can't do
Who's he to
anything
ruin a
about
man's life? Everybody knows Joe pulled a fast one to get out of jail.
it. That is not true.
Then go out and talk to people. Go on, talk to them. There is not a person on this block who doesn't know the truth.
That's a lie. People come here all the time.
So,
play
Roz,
cards.
they give him credit for being smart. I do too. Oh, I've got nothing against Joe. But if Chris wants people to put on the hair shirt, let him take off his broadcloth. He's driving my husband crazy with that phony idealism of his, and I'm at the end of my rope on it. Hello, darling. How's mother?
I thought George came.
Oh no, it was just us.
So, hey, can you do me a favor? Can you go up and see if you can calm Mother down? She's got her stuff all worked out.
You know, she doesn't know about you too, huh?
Well, she senses it. You know my mother.
She's psychic.
Yeah, see if you can find something in the medicine chest.
Oh, I'll give her one of everything, and don't worry about Kate. Give her a couple drinks, dance around a little. She'll love Anne. Because you're the female version of him. Oh, don't be alarmed, I said version.
Oh, God. Interesting woman, isn't she?
Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah, she's really a great
Are you
nurse.
still
She's-
doing that?
Doing what?
Whenever you get to know somebody, you find some sort of distinction about them. I mean, how do you know that she's some great nurse?
Hey, Anne, what's the matter with you?
The woman hates you. She despises you, Chris.
What's you
She,
kid?
Chris,
What happened
you
here?
know her. Why didn't you tell me?
Tell you what?
She said they all think Joe is guilty.
Who cares what they
Well, I don't care what they think. I just don't see why you took the trouble to deny it. You said it was all for God.
Well, I just didn't want you to think there was anything wrong in you coming here, that's all. I know a lot of people thought my father was guilty, but I just assumed it maybe it crossed your
I
mind.
never once said that.
People don't say it.
Chris, I know how much you love him.
Do you think I would forgive him if he did that thing?
Out of the blue sky, but I turned my back on my father. If there's anything wrong here
I
now,
know that.
George is coming from Dad. And I don't think that it's with a blessing.
George is welcome here. You got nothing to fear from George.
Just tell me that. Just tell me that.
The man is innocent, ain't he? You know, he was falsely accused once, and it put him through hell. I mean, just imagine how you'd feel if you had to face all that again. And believe me, there's nothing wrong in you being here. Believe me, kid.
All right. All right.
Well, every time I come out here, it looks like playland.
I thought you were going to shave.
Now, in a minute, I just got up. I can't see nothing.
You look shaved.
Yeah, oh no. Gotta be extra special tonight, Annie. Big night. So how's it feel to be a married woman?
I don't know yet.
Oh, what's the matter? You sipping?
Yeah, the great Rouet.
What's that, Rouet?
It's French.
Don't talk dirty.
Have you ever met a bigger ignoramus?
Well, somebody's got to make a living.
That's telling him.
I don't know. Everybody's getting so goddamn educated in this country, there's no one left to take away the garbage. The only dumb ones left are the bosses.
Oh, you're not so dumb, Joe.
Well, I know. take our plant, for instance. Well, we got so many lieutenants and majors and colonels. I'm ashamed to ask somebody to sweep the floor. Well, I'm afraid I'll insult somebody. No kidding. It's a tragedy. Why, you stand out on the street and spit, you're going to hit a college man.
Well, don't spit.
Well, I'm just saying, it's coming to a pass. You know, I've been thinking, Annie, your brother George. I've been thinking about your brother George. When he comes, there's something I'd like you to broach to him.
It's brooch.
What's the matter with broach?
It's not English.
Well, in night school it was broach.
In day school, it was broke.
Well, all right, don't surround me now, will you? Seriously, Ann. You say he's not well, George. Well, I've been thinking, why should he knock himself out in New York with that cutthroat competition when I got so many friends here? I'm very friendly with some big lawyers in town. I could set George up here.
That is awfully nice of you, Joe.
Well, no, kid, it ain't nice of me. I want you to know I'm thinking of Chris. I mean, well, what I mean is, when you get older, you feel you want to accomplish something. My only accomplishment is my son. I ain't brainy, that's all I accomplished. Now, a year, 18 months from now, your dad will be a free man. Who's he going to come to, Manny? You. He'll come old and mad into your house.
That can't matter anymore, Joe.
Well, I don't want that to come between us.
I can only tell you that that will never happen.
Oh, you're in love now, Annie, but believe me, I'm older, and I know. A daughter is a daughter, and a father is a father, and it could happen. You know, I'd like you and George to go see him in prison and tell him, Dad, Joe's got a place in the business waiting for you when you get out.
You would have him as a partner?
Well, no, not a partner, but a good job. I want him to understand, Eddie, while he's sitting there, I want him to know that he's got a place waiting for him. Well, it'll take the bitterness away from him. To know you got a place, it sweetens.
Joe, you don't owe him anything.
Well, I owe him a good kick in the teeth. But he's your father.
Well, then kick him in the teeth. I don't want him in the plant, so that's that. You understand? And you watch what you say about it. People will misunderstand you.
Well, I don't see why she has to crucify
Well,
the man.
father, shouldn't she be
No,
well,
no.
what's it to you? Why are you
A father is a father. I better shave. I didn't mean to yell at you.
Let's forget all about it, Joe.
Right. She's likable.
Yeah, go and shave.
Right again.
Oh, hi! Oh, I forgot all about it. I promised Kate I'd fix her hair tonight. Did she come in yet?
Always a smile, eh, Lydia?
Sure, why not?
Well, come on up and comb my Katie's hair. Make her beautiful. It's a special night tonight.
I will.
Hey, that could be a song. Come on up, comb my Katie's hair. Katie's hair, Katie's hair. Come on up, comb my Katie's hair. 'Cause she's my lady fair. Not bad for your night school, huh?
So what's the matter? Where is he? Where is your mother? Upstairs, dressing.
What happened to George?
I asked him to wait in the car. Listen to me, can you take some advice? Don't bring him in here.
Why?
Kate is in bad shape. You can't explode this in front of
Explode
her.
what?
You know why he's here. Don't try to kid it away. There's blood in his eye. Drive up somewhere and talk to him alone.
Don't be an old lady.
He's come to take her home. What does that mean? You know what that means. Fight it out with him someplace
I'll
else.
drive him somewhere.
No.
You stop being an idiot.
Will you cut it out? No one's afraid of George here. Hey, George. That's a hell of a way to do. Yeah, what are you sitting out there for?
Doctor says your mother's sick, so
So what? You know she'd want to see you. We've been waiting for you all
Can you
afternoon.
bring another shirt? This one's filthy.
How about the beach, Jim?
It's too hot to drive.
Well, how'd you get to the station? The Zeppelin?
Hey, George, this is Mrs. Bates. George? Mrs. Bates.
How do you do?
You're the people who bought our house, aren't you?
Yeah, that's right. Come and see what we do with it before you leave.
I like it better the way it was.
Oh, it's Frank, isn't it?
See you later. Take it easy, fella.
Yeah, thanks for driving him. So, George, hey, why don't you have some grape juice? Mother made it specially for you.
Good old Kate remembered my grape juice.
Well, you drank enough of it in this house. So how are you, George? Come on, sit down.
It takes a minute. Seems impossible, you know?
What?
Back here.
Say, George, you're a little nervous, aren't you?
Yeah, toward the end of the day. So what are you? Big executive now?
Yeah, just kind of medium. How's the law?
I don't know. You know, when I was studying in the hospital, it all seemed so sensible, but on the outside, there doesn't seem to be much of a law. The trees got thick, huh?
Yeah.
What's that?
Oh, blew down last night. Had it there for Larry.
Why? You afraid you'll forget him?
Hey, what kind of remark is
Hey,
that?
George, when did you start wearing a hat, huh?
Today. Decided from now on I should look like a lawyer anyway. You recognize it?
Why?
It's your father's. He asked me to wear it.
How is he?
He got smaller.
Smaller?
Yeah, little. He's a little man. That's what happens to suckers, you know? It's good I went to see him when I did. Another year, there'd be nothing left but his smell.
What's the matter, George? What's the trouble?
The trouble is, when you make suckers out of people once, you shouldn't try to do it twice.
What does that mean?
You're not married yet, are
George,
you?
would you sit down
Are
and
you
just
married
stop?
yet?
No, I am not married.
You're not going to marry him.
Why am I not going to marry him?
Because his father destroyed your
Oh,
family.
now look,
Oh,
George.
cut it short, Chris. Tell her to come home with me. Let's not argue. You know what I've got to say.
George, you don't want to be the voice of God.
I'm
do
the
you?
voice of
Because
God.
That's been your trouble your whole life. You dive into things. What kind of remark is that to make? You're a big boy now.
I'm a big boy now.
Yeah, well, don't come bullying in here. You got something to say you be civilized about.
Don't you civilize me!
You better talk to the old man, aren't you?
Sit down. Don't be angry, dear. Now, you kissed me when I left.
My life turned upside down since then. I couldn't go back to work after you left this morning. I wanted to go see Dad. Tell him that you were going to be married. It's impossible not to tell him. He loved you so much. Annie? We've done a terrible thing. We can never be forgiven. Not to send him a card at Christmas? I didn't go see him once since I got back from the war. You don't know what was done to that man, Annie. You don't know what happened.
I know everything.
You can't know. You wouldn't be here. Dad came to work that day. The night foreman came to him and showed him the cylinder heads. They were coming out of the process with defects. There was something wrong with the process. So Dad went directly to the phone, and he called here. And he told Joe to come down right away. But the morning passed. No sign of Joe. So Dad called again, and by now he had over 100 defectives. The Army was screaming for stuff, but Dad didn't have anything to ship. So Joe told him, on the phone, Joe told him to weld. Cover up the cracks any way he could and ship them out.
Are you through now?
No, I'm not through now. Dad was afraid. He didn't want to do it unless Joe was there with him. But Joe can't come down. He's sick. Sick. Suddenly he gets the flu. Suddenly. But he promised to take responsibility. Do you understand what I'm saying? On the telephone, you can't have responsibility. In a court, you can always deny a phone call, and that is exactly what Joe did. Now, the first time, they knew he was a liar, but in the appeal, they believed that rotten lie. And there, Joe's a big shot, and your father's a pastor. Now, what are you going to do? Eat his food? Sleep in his bed? Answer me. What are you going to do?
What are you going to do, George?
Well, he's too smart for me. I can't prove a phone
Then
call.
how dare you come in here with that rot?
The court did not know your father, Annie. You know him. You know in your your heart, Joe did it.
You lower your voice, or I'm going to throw you out of here.
She knows. She knows.
You get him out of here, Annie. Get him out of here.
George, I know everything that you said. Dad told the whole thing in court.
The court did not know him, Annie.
Know how quickly he can lie, Georgie. He'll say
I'll
anything.
ask you a question. You look me in the eye when you answer.
Yeah, I'll look you in
You
the
know
eye.
your father?
I know him well.
And he's the type of boss that 121 cylinder had to be repaired and shipped out without ever knowing anything
Yeah, he's
about
that
it.
kind of boss.
And that's the same Joe Keller who wouldn't leave his shop at night until he went around to make sure all the lights were out.
Yeah, the same Joe Keller.
The same man who knows how many minutes a day his workers spend in the toilets.
The same man.
And my father, that frightened mouse who couldn't buy a shirt without somebody along, that man would dare do such a thing on his own.
On his own. And I'll tell you something else. And because he's a frightened man, he would throw the blame on somebody else because he's not man enough to take it himself. He tried it in the court, but it didn't work. But with a fool like you, it works.
Chris, you're a liar yourself.
Don't talk like that.
What happened, George? The court record was good enough for you all these years. Why isn't it good enough now? Why did you believe it all these years?
Because you believed it. That's the truth. I believed everything because I thought you did, Chris. But today I got it from his mouth. And from his mouth it's altogether different than from the record. And anyone who knows him and knows your father will believe it coming from his mouth. Your dad took everything we have. Now I can't beat that. But she is one item he's not going to grab. Get your things. Everything they have is covered with blood. You're not the kind of girl who can live with that. Now get your things.
And you are not going to believe that, are you?
You know it's not true.
How can he tell you it's his father? None of this ever even crosses your mind.
Yes, it crossed my mind. Anything can cross your mind.
He knows, Annie. He
Oh,
knows.
the voice of God.
Then why isn't your name on the business? Explain that
What
to
the
me.
hell does that have to do
Annie,
with
why
it?
isn't his name on the
Even
business?
when I don't own
Oh,
it.
who are you kidding? Who gets it when he dies? Open your eyes. You know the both of them. Isn't that the first thing they do, the way they love each other? J.O. Keller and son? I'll settle it. You want to settle it, or are you afraid to?
What do you mean?
Let me go up and talk to your father. In 10 minutes, you'll have your answer. Or are you afraid of the
I'm
answer?
not afraid of the answer. I know the answer. It's just that my mother's been, well, she's been sick, and I don't want to start a fight.
Let me go to
I don't want to start a fight.
What
now.
more do you want?
Somebody's coming, George. Apologize.
Don't say anything now.
Now, please don't mention anything about marriage because we haven't
You're
told
coming
her
with
yet.
me.
Now, don't start anything, George. Please.
Hey, Mama.
Georgie! Oh, Georgie!
Hello, Kate.
We need an old man out of you. Look, you're gray.
I know.
Oh, I told you when you went away. Don't try some metal.
I didn't try, Kate. They made it very easy for me.
Oh, you're all alike. Why did you say he's fine? He looks like a
Oh,
ghost.
I feel all right.
Oh, I'm sick to look at him. What's wrong with your mother? Doesn't she feed you?
Oh, he just hasn't any appetite.
Oh, well, if he ate at my house, he'd have an appetite. Oh, I pity your husband. Listen, sit down, Georgie. I'll make you a sandwich.
No, really, I'm not hungry.
Oh, honestly, it breaks my heart to see what's happened to all the children. How we worked and planned for you, and you end up no better than us.
You haven't changed a bit. You know that, Kate?
Oh, none of us have changed, Georgie. We all love you. Joe was just talking about the day you were born and the water got shut off. People were carrying basins from a block away. A stranger would have thought the whole neighborhood was on fire. Why didn't you give him any juice?
Well, I offered it to him.
Offered it to him, give it to him. Now, you're going to sit there and drink them some juice and look like something.
Kate, I'm feeling hungrier already.
Yeah, she could turn Mahatma Gandhi into a heavyweight.
Hell with the restaurant. I've got a ham in the icebox and frozen strawberries and avocado.
Well, I'll help you.
Train leaves at 8:30, Ann.
Oh, you're leaving?
No, she's not.
You only just got here. Why don't you take a little while to reacquaint yourself?
Yeah, George, you hardly know us anymore.
Well, honey, I mean, if
No,
the guests-
Mother, it's a question of George. He plans
now
to...
wait a minute, Chris.
George, if you want to leave, I'll take you to the station now. But if you're staying, no arguments from you.
Why would we have an argument? George,
you'll make your own clothes.
Hey, she classy. All she needs now is a Russian wolfhound.
I feel like there's somebody sitting on my head.
No, Kate, you look beautiful.
Oh, she's a genius. You should have married this one. Now this one can feed you.
Stop that, Kitty.
Didn't I hear you had a baby?
Oh, you don't hear so good. She's got 3 babies.
No kidding. 3.
Yeah, it was 1, 2, 3. You've been away a long time, Georgie.
Yeah, I'm beginning to realize.
Oh, the trouble with you kids is you think too much.
Well, we think too.
Yes, but not all the time.
They never took Frank, huh?
No, he was always 1 year ahead of the draft.
It was amazing. When they were calling boys 27, Frank just turned 28. When they made it 28, he turned 29. Now that's why he took up a scholarship. All when you were born. It just goes to show.
What does it go to show, Mother?
Oh, don't be so smart. Some superstitions are very nice. Did he finish Larry's horoscope?
Oh, I'll ask him now. I'm going in. Would you like to see my babies? Come on.
I don't think so, Lydia.
Oh. All right. Well, good luck to you, Georgie.
Thanks. And to you, and Frank.
Oh, Frank.
She got pretty, huh?
Very pretty.
Oh, she's beautiful. You can't fool her.
She makes it seem so nice here.
Oh, look what happened to you because you didn't listen to me. I told you to marry that girl and stay out of the war.
She used to laugh too much.
Oh. And you didn't laugh enough. While you were getting mad at fascism, Frank was getting into her bed.
He won the war.
Yeah, all the battles.
Oh, but I told you, when the day they started that draft, you loved that girl.
And truer love hath no man.
Oh, I'm smarter than all of you.
Oh, she's wonderful.
Now you're going to listen to me, Georgie. You had big principles, Eagle Scouts, the 3 of you. And now all I have left is that tree and this one. When the weather gets cold, he can't stand on his feet. And that big dope next door, who reads nothing but Andy Gump, has 3 kids in his house paid off. Now stop being a philosopher and look after yourself. Like Joe was saying, you move back here, he'll get you settled. I'll find a girl and put a smile on your face.
Joe? Joe wants me here?
He told me to tell you, and I think that it's a good idea.
Certainly. Why must you make believe you hate us? You don't hate us, Georgie. Oh, you can't fool me. I diapered you. Say, listen. Do you remember Mr. Marcy's daughter?
Oh, she's got you hooked already.
You look her all over, Georgie. You'll see she's the most beautiful girl.
Yeah,
in
she's
town.
got warts, George.
She hasn't got warts. The girl has a little beauty mark on her chin.
Yeah, and 2 on her nose.
Remember her father, the retired police inspector?
Sergeant George.
He's a very kind man.
Yeah, he looks like a gorilla.
Well, look who's here. Georgie. Good to see you.
How are you, Joe?
Well, so. Getting old. So, are you coming to dinner with us?
No, I've got to be getting back to New York.
I'll call the cab.
Sad to hear that. Huh, well, he looks fine.
He looks terrible.
That's what I said, George. You look terrible. Well, I wear the pants. She beats me with the belt.
Saw your factory on the way from the station. Looks like General Motors.
Well, I wish it was General Motors, but it is. Well, sit down, George. Sit down. Yeah. So, you finally went to see Dad, I hear.
Yeah, this morning. What kind of stuff do you make now?
Oh, a little of everything. Pressure cookers, and got a nice assembly for washing machines, a nice flexible plant now. So how'd you find Dad? Feel all right?
No, he's not well, Joe.
It's not his heart again.
It's everything, Joe. It's his soul.
All right.
Hey, George, let's go see what they did in your house.
Give me talk. Yeah, sure, he just got here. Well, that's what they do, George. Little one makes a mistake, they hang him by the thumbs. Big ones become ambassadors. I wish you'd have told me you were going to see Dad.
I didn't know you were interested.
Well, in a way I am. I'd like him to know, as far as I'm concerned, when he gets out, he's got a place with me. I'd like him to know that.
He hates your guts, Joe. Don't you know that?
I imagined it. But that can change, too.
Well, Steve was never like that.
He's like that now. He'd like to take every man who made money on the war and put him up against a wall.
Well, he'll need a lot of bullets.
And he better not get it.
I'm sad to hear that.
Why? What did you expect him to think of you?
Well, I'm sad to see that he hasn't changed. As long as I've known him 25 years, the man has never learned to take the blame. Now, you know that, Joe.
Well, I know that.
Well, but you do know it. Because the way you come in here, you don't look like you remember it. I mean, like the time in 37 when we had a shop on Flood Street. Well, the man nearly blew us all up when he left that heater burning without any water for 2 days. Oh, he wouldn't take the blame for that either. Had to fire a mechanic to save his face.
Yes, but that was...
Oh, but it's good to remember it, George. Like the time that, oh yes, that he gave that money to Frank to invest in oil stock.
I know that.
Oh, well, it's remember it then. The way he cursed Frank just because the stock went down? Was that Frank's fault? But to listen to him, you'd have thought Frank was a swindler. All he did was give him a bad stock.
No, I know all those
well,
things.
then remember them. Remember them. There's some men that rather see everybody hung than take the blame themselves. You understand me, George?
The cat's on its way. Will you come in and watch?
Why must he go? Make them in.
Well, sure. You stay and have dinner with
Well,
us.
how about it? Well, why not? We're eating it late to have swell time.
All right.
Oh,
Oh,
hey.
now you're talking.
Yeah, I got a shirt that'll go with that suit.
That's 15 and a half, right, George?
Is Lydia... I mean, Frank and Lydia
I'll
coming?
find you a date that'll
No,
make
Kate, I don't want a date.
I know the girl for it. Charlotte Tanner.
That's it.
You know, I never felt at home anywhere but here. I feel so... Kate, you know, you look so young. You haven't changed a bit. Rings an old bell. You too, Joe. You're amazingly the same. The whole atmosphere.
Say, I ain't got time to get sick.
Oh, he hasn't been laid up in 15 years.
Except the time during the war. Oh, and I had that flu.
Huh?
The time I got the flu during the war.
Oh, well, I know that, except for the flu. It slipped my mind. Well, don't look at me that way. He wanted to go into the shop that day. He couldn't lift himself off the bed. I thought he had pneumonia.
Why did you say he's never been sick?
Oh, I know what you mean, George. I can't forgive myself. If I could have gone in that day, I'd have never let Dad touch those
Now,
heads.
she said you've never been sick.
Well, I said he was sick.
Annie, didn't you hear her say he's never been
Do
sick?
you remember every time you were sick?
I remember pneumonia! Especially if I got it just the day that my partner was going to patch up cylinder heads. What happened that day, Joe?
Hey! Oh, Frank, have you seen George?
Oh, Lydia told me. I'm glad to... Oh, you'll have to pardon me. I have something amazing for you, Kate. I finished Larry's horoscope.
Oh, George, you'd be interested in this. He knows all about the stars.
Hey, George, girl's on the phone.
Oh, listen, finish Larry's horoscope.
Ah, Frank, can't you pick a better time than this?
The greatest men who ever lived believed in the stars.
Will you stop filling her head with that junk?
It's a joke to believe there's a power greater than yourself. I've studied the stars of his life. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm telling you, somewhere in this world, your brother is alive.
Why isn't it possible?
Because it's insane.
Just a minute. I'll tell you something and you can do as you please. Just let me say it. He was supposed to have died on November 25th. But November 25th was his favorable day.
Mother.
Listen to
It was the
him.
kind of day where everything good was shining on him. The kind of day he should have married on. You can laugh at a lot. I can understand you laughing. But the odds are 1,000,000 to 1 that a man won't die on his favorable day. That's known. That's known.
Why isn't it possible? Why isn't it possible?
Do you understand what she's saying? She just told you to go. What are you waiting for now?
No. Nobody can tell her to go.
Thank you, darling, for your trouble. Will you tell the cat to wait?
Sure thing.
Oh, they'll be right out, driver.
No, Mother, she's
You
not
heard
leaving.
what she said. He's never been sick.
He misunderstood me.
Now, he simply told your father to kill pilots and covered himself in bed.
Well, you better answer him, Annie. Go on, answer him.
I packed your bag, darling.
What?
I packed packed your bag. All you have to do is close it.
I'm not closing anything. He asked me here, and I'm staying until he tells me to go. Until Chris tells me to go.
All right, that's all. Just get out of here,
Well,
George.
but if that's how
That's all! Until Christ comes about the case O'Leary, as long as I'm here. Now, just get out of here, George.
You tell me. I want to hear you tell me.
Go, Georgie. Georgie, don't take it that way, please.
Amy, no,
Please
wait.
don't take it that way.
What do you mean you packed her bag? How dare you pack her bag? How dare you pack her bag?
She doesn't belong.
Then I don't belong here.
Larry's girl.
And I'm his brother, and he is dead, and I am marrying his girl.
Never in this world.
You lost your mind?
You have nothing to say.
Oh, I got plenty to say. I've been listening to you for 3.5 years, talking like a maniac. Oh,
Nothing. You have nothing to say. Now I say, he's coming back and everyone has got to wait.
Mother,
Wait,
please.
wait.
How long? How long?
Till he comes. Forever and ever till he
Mother,
comes.
I am going ahead with this.
I have never said no to you in my life, Chris. Now I say no.
Mother, you will never let him go until I do it.
I'll never let him go, and you'll never.
I have let him go. I let him go a long time ago.
Then let your father go.
she's lost her mind.
Altogether. Your brother's alive, darling. Because if he's dead, your father killed him. Do you understand me now? As long as you live, that boy is alive. God does not let a son be killed by his father. Now you see, don't you? Now you see.
She's lost her mind.
Ben. You did it?
Never flew a P-40.
But the other...
She's out of her mind.
Dad, how could you do that?
What's the matter with you?
Dad, you killed 21 men.
Kill.
You killed them. You murdered them.
I killed anybody.
Dad. Dad. Dad.
I never killed anybody.
Then explain it to me. You explain it to me, or I will tear you to pieces. You explain it to me. I need to know what you did. Now, what did you do? You had 120 cracked cylinder heads. Now, what did you do?
You're gonna hang me.
I'm listening. God Almighty, I am listening.
You're a boy. What could I do? I'm in business. A man's in business. 120 cracked, you're out of business. You got a process, the process don't work, you're out of business. Your stuff's no good. You don't know how to operate. They close you up, they tear up your contract. What the hell is it to them? 40 years I put into that business, and they're gonna knock it away in 5 minutes? What could I do? Let them take my 40 years? Let them take my life away? I never thought they'd install them. Honest to God, I thought somebody would stop them before they took off.
Then why did you ship them out?
By the time they could spot them, I thought I'd have the process going again, and then they'd see they needed me and they'd let it go by. But weeks went by and I got no kickbacks. I was gonna tell them.
Why didn't you tell
It
them?
was too late. The papers all over the front page, 21 went down. Too late. It came with handcuffs into the shop. What can I do? Chris, I did this for you.
Oh, God.
I saw a chance and I took it for you. When would I have a chance to do something for you again? I'm 61 years old. You don't get another chance, do you?
Dad, you even knew they wouldn't hold up in the air.
I didn't say that.
But you were going to warn them not to
Oh,
do
it
so.
doesn't mean it.
It means that you knew they'd
It
crash.
don't mean
you
that.
thought they'd crash.
I was afraid, Nate.
You were afraid? hanging in the air by those heads, and you knew that!
You! A business for you!
For me! Where do you live? Where have you come from? For me! I was dying every day, and you were killing my boys, and you did it for me? Dad, don't you have a country? Don't you live in the world? What the hell do you mean you did it for me? What the hell are you? You're not even an animal. No animal kills his own. What are you? What must I do to you? I ought to tear the tongue out of your mouth. What must I do? Jesus God, what must I do?
Chris! Oh, Chris.
Any news?
No news.
You can't sit up all night, dear. Why don't you go to bed?
I'm waiting for Chris. Don't worry about me, Jim. I'm perfectly all right.
It's almost 2 o'clock.
Can't sleep. You had an emergency?
Oh, somebody had a headache, thought he was dying. Oh, half of my patients are quite mad. Nobody realizes how many people are walking around loose when they crack these coconuts. It's money. Money, 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 money. You say it long enough, doesn't mean anything. Oh, how it left me around in that house.
You're so childish, Jim. Sometimes you are.
Kate, what happened?
I told you. He had an argument with Joe, got in the car and drove away.
What kind of an argument?
An argument. Joe crying like a child before.
They argued about Anne?
No, not Anne. Imagine. She has to come out of that room since he left. All night in that room.
What did Joe do? Tell him?
Tell him what?
Don't be afraid, Kate. I know. I've always known.
How?
It occurred to me a long time ago.
I always had a feeling that in the back of his head, Chris almost knew. He didn't think it would be such a shock.
Chris would never know how to live with a thing like that. It takes a certain talent for lying. Or you have it, and I do, but not him.
What do you mean, he's not coming back?
No, he'll come back, Kate. Oh, we all come back. These private little revolutions always die. Compromise is always made. In a peculiar way, Frank is right. Every man does have his star. Star of one's honesty. And you spend your life groping for it. Once it's out, it never lights again. I don't think he went very far. Probably just wanted to be alone to watch his star go out.
So long as he comes back.
I wish he would, Kate. One year I simply took off. Went to New Orleans. For 2 months I lived on bananas and milk. Studied a certain disease. It was beautiful. And then she came. And she cried. And I went back home with her. And now I live in the usual darkness. I can't find myself. It's even hard sometimes to remember the kind of man I wanted to be. I'm a good husband. Chris is a good son. He'll come back. I have a feeling he's in the park. I'll look around for him. Put her to bed, Joe. This is no good for what she's got.
What does he want?
His friend is not home.
I don't like him mixing in so much.
Too late, Joe, he knows.
How does he know?
He guessed a long time ago.
I don't like that.
What you don't like.
Yeah, what I don't like.
You can't fool yourself through this one, Joe. This thing isn't over yet.
What is she doing up there? She don't come out of her room.
Don't know. What is she doing? Sit down and stop being mad. If you want to live, you better figure out your life.
She don't know, does she?
She saw Chris storm out of here. It's 1 and 1. She knows how to add.
Maybe I had to talk to her?
Don't ask me, Joe.
Well, then who do I ask? I don't think she'll do anything about it.
You're asking me again.
I'm asking you, what am I, a stranger? I thought I had a family here. What happened to my family? I had a family.
You have a family, Joe. I'm simply telling you I don't have the strength to think anymore.
You don't have the strength. Whenever there's trouble, you don't have the strength.
Joe, you're doing it again. All your life, whenever there's trouble, you yell at me and you think that settles it.
What do I do? Talk to me. Tell me. What do I do?
Joe, I've been thinking this way. If he comes back,
What do you mean, if? He's coming back.
I could sit him down and you explain yourself to him. I mean, you ought to make it clear to him that you know you did a terrible thing. Let him know that you realize what you did, you see.
What ice does that cut?
Tell him you're willing to pay for what you did.
How can I pay?
Tell him you're willing to go to prison.
I'm willing.
Oh, no, you wouldn't go. He wouldn't ask you to go. But if he knew that you wanted to, maybe he'd forgive you.
He forgive me for what?
Joe, you know what I mean.
I don't you mean? You wanted money, so I made money. What must I be forgiven? You wanted money, didn't you?
I didn't want it that way.
Well, I didn't want it that way either. What difference does it make what you want? Spoiled the both of you. Should have put him out when he was 10 like I was put out. Make him earn his keep, then he'd know how a buck is made in this world. Forgiven. I can live on a quarter a day myself. But I got a family.
Joe, it doesn't excuse it that you did
It's
it.
gotta
to the
excuse
family.
it.
There's something bigger than the
Nothing
family.
is bigger than that.
There is to him.
There is nothing he could do that I wouldn't forgive, because he is my son. I'm his father, and he's my son.
Joe, I tell you.
There's nothing bigger. And you're going to tell him that, you hear? I'm his father, and he's my son. If there's anything bigger than that, I'll put a bullet in my head.
Oh, you stop
Oh,
that.
you heard me. Now, you know what to tell him. He wouldn't put me away. He wouldn't put me away, though, would he?
He loved you, Joe. You broke his heart.
But to put me away.
I don't know. I'm beginning to think we don't know him. In the war, they say he was such a killer. Here, he was always afraid of mice. I don't know him. I don't know what he'll do.
God damn it, if Larry was here, he wouldn't act this way. He understood the way the world was made. He listened to me. To him, the world had a 40-foot front. It ended at the building line. And this one, everything bothers him. Oh, you make a deal, you overcharge 2 cents, his hair falls out. He never understood money. Came too easy. Yes, sir. Larry. That was a boy we lost. Larry. Larry. What am I going to do, Kate?
Joe, please, please. We'll be all right. Nothing's going to happen.
For you, Kate. For the both of you, that's all I ever lived.
I know, darling. I know.
Why do you wait up? I'll tell you when he comes.
Oh, you haven't had any supper, have you? Why don't you make her something?
Sure. Never mind, Kate, I'm all right. I want to tell you something. I'm not going to do anything about it.
You see? She's a good girl.
I'm not going to do anything about Joe. But you're going to do something for me. You made Chris feel guilty for me. Whether you wanted to or not, you've crippled him in front of me. Now, I want you to tell him that Larry is dead and that you know it. You understand? I'm not leaving here alone again. I can't live that way. I want you to set him free. And then I promise you that everything will end. We'll go away, and that's all.
You'll do that. You'll tell him.
Kate, I know what I'm asking. You've had 2 sons, but now you only have
You'll
1.
tell him.
And you've got to tell him so that he knows that you mean it.
My dear, if the boy was dead, it wouldn't take my words to make Chris know it. The night he gets into your bed, his heart will dry up. Because he knows and you know that till his dying day he'll wait for his brother. No, my dear. No such thing. You're going in the morning and you're going alone. That's your life. That's your lonely life.
Larry is dead, Kate.
Don't speak to
I
me.
said he's dead. I know. His plane crashed off the coast of China November 25th. His engine didn't fail him, but he died. I know.
How did he die? You're lying to me. If you know, how did he die?
I loved him. You know I loved him. Would I have even looked at anyone else if I wasn't
when he comes back.
What's that?
First, you've got to understand, when I came here, I had no idea that Joe... I held nothing against him or you. I came here to get married. I hoped. So I didn't bring this to hurt you. I thought I'd show it to you only if there was no other way to settle Larry in your mind.
Larry?
He wrote it to me just before. I'm not trying to hurt you, Kate. Please remember. Just remember. Oh. 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 I've been so lonely, Kate. I can't leave here alone again. You made me show you. I told you 100 times. You wouldn't believe me.
Oh my
Why
God.
wouldn't you believe me?
My God! My God!
Please. Please, you.
What's the matter?
Where were you? You're all perspired. Where were you?
I just drove around a little. I thought you'd be gone.
Where do I go? I have nowhere to go.
Where's Dad?
Inside, lying down.
All right, sit down. Sit down. I'll say what there is to say. Mother, I'm going away. There are some firms in Cleveland, and I think I can get a place. I mean, I'm going away for good. Annie, I know what you're thinking. It's true. I'm yellow. I was made yellow in that house because I suspected my father and I didn't do anything about it. But if I knew that night when I came home what I know now, he'd be in the district attorney's office by this time and I'd have brought him in. But now, if I look at him, all I'm able to do is cry.
What are you talking about? What else can you do?
I could jail him. I could jail him. If I were human anymore. But I'm like everybody else now. I'm practical. You made me practical.
But you have to be.
The cats in the alley are practical. Those bums who ran away when we were fighting, they were practical. Only the dead ones aren't practical. Well, I'm practical now. And I spit on myself. And I'm going. I'm going now.
I'm coming with you.
No, Annie.
Chris, I don't ask you to do anything about
You do.
Joe.
What do
I
you
swear
do?
I never will.
In your heart, you always will.
Well, then do whatever you have to do.
What is there to do? I've looked all night for a reason to make him suffer.
There is reason. There is reason.
What? Do I raise the dead if I put him behind bars? Is that what I do it for? We used to shoot a man who acted like a dog. But honor was real there. We were protecting something. But here in the land of the great big dogs, you don't love a man here. You eat him. That's the principle. The only one we live by. It just happened to kill a few people this time, that's all. Well, the world's that way. So how can I take it out on him? God, this place is a zoo. It's a zoo.
You know what he's got to do, you'll tell him.
Let him go.
I won't let him go. You'll tell him what he has got to do.
Annie.
And I will tell him.
I want to talk to you.
I don't want to talk to you.
I want to talk to you.
Don't you do that. I will hurt you if you do that. Now there's nothing to say, so you say it quick.
What's the matter with you? What's the matter? You got too much money? Is that what bothers you?
Oh yeah, it bothers me.
Huh? Well, then if you can't get used to it, throw it away. You hear me? Take every last cent of it and give it to charity. Throw it in the sewer. that's all. You think I'm kidding? I'm telling you what to do. If it's dirty, burn it. It's your money, it's not my money. I'm a dead man. I'm an old dead man. Nothing's mine. What's the matter with you? Huh? Talk to me. What do you want to do?
It's not what I want to do, it's what you want to do.
What should I want to do? Jail? Is that what you want me to do? You want me to go? Say so. Is that where I belong? Tell me so. What's the matter? Why can't you say it? You say everything else to me. Say that. I'll tell you why you can't say it. Because you know I don't belong there. Because you know. Who worked for nothing in that war? When they work for nothing, I work for nothing. They ship a gun or a truck out of Detroit before they got their price. Is that clean? It's dollars and cents. Nickels and dimes. War and peace. Nickels and dimes. What's clean? Half the goddamn country's gotta go if I go. That's why you can't tell me.
Yeah, that's exactly why.
Why am I bad?
I know that you are no worse than most men. But I thought you were better. I never saw you as a man. I saw you as my father. And I can't look at you this way. I can't look at myself.
Oh, give me that. I saw you reading. Let's stop.
What is that? What is it? What does she say?
Go to the street,
Who's
Joe.
that, Larry?
Go to the street. Oh, God, please don't tell him.
3.5 years.
Talking.
Now you tell me what you must do. This is how he died. Now you tell me where you belong.
Chris, a man can't be a Jesus in this world.
I know about the world. I know the whole crap story. Now you listen to this and you tell me what a man's got to be. My dear Anne, you listening? He wrote this the day he died. Now you listen. You don't cry. Listen. My dear Anne, it is impossible to put down the things I feel, but I've got to tell you something. Yesterday they flew in a load of papers from the States and I read about Dad and your father being convicted. I can't express myself. I can't tell you how I feel. I can't bear to live anymore. Last night I circled the base for 20 minutes before I could bring myself in. How could he have done that? Every day 3 or 4 men never come back and he sits back there doing business? I don't know how to tell you how I feel. I can't face anybody. I'm going out on a mission in a few minutes. And they'll probably report me missing. If they do, I want you to know that you mustn't wait for me. I tell you, Anne, if I had him here now, I could kill him. Now, blame the world. Do you understand that letter?
I think I do. Get the car. I'll go get my jacket.
Why are you going? You sleep. Why are you going?
I can't sleep here. I'll feel better if I go.
You're so foolish. Larry was your son too. You know he'd never tell you to do this.
Then what is this?
A stone that fell in the water? It's not enough that he's sorry. Larry didn't kill himself to make you and Dad sorry.
Oh, what more can we be?
You can be better. You can know once and for all that there is a universe of people out there, and you are responsible to it. And unless you know that, then you threw away your son. Because that's why he died.